Hello, welcome back to the Florida Rum Explorer. I'm Brian, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to talk about rum. I know it's the Florida Rum Explorer, but we're going to branch out a little bit. I want to talk to you a little bit about bourbon, specifically bacon infused bourbon. That's right, you heard me right, bacon infused bourbon. It's very easy to make. I'm going to show you how to make it, and then we're going to sample it in a few seconds, okay? The first thing you're going to do is cook 4 strips of bacon. Once the bacon's done cooking, take it out off the heat and keep it for later, and let the bacon grease cool down for about 20 minutes or so. Next, take a large mason jar and take a conical strainer, just like we used before in our classic spiced rum episode. Make sure it doesn't fall out. Next, you're going to take that reserved bacon grease that we let cool down, and you're just going to pour it through the strainer into the jar. Make sure you get it all out, every last bit and drop. So the strainer is there to keep out all the little burned bits and the chunkies that we don't need in our bourbon. It gets trapped at the bottom of the strainer a little bit, so it gives it a couple of taps and move it around a couple of times to get the rest of the grease out. You're going to get a little bit of bits in there, but that's no problem. Next, take our bourbon. It's just a simple $20 bottle of bourbon, nothing special. And we're just going to pour it directly into our jar. Make sure you get it all in there. It should all fit. There we go. Good. Okay. All right. So we've added our bourbon to our bacon grease. Now cap it off. Give it a couple of shakes. And that's it for now. We're just going to let it sit now for about 3 to 5 days in a cool area. All right, we're back. So here we have our bacon after 3 days. Now, if you notice, you can see the bacon grease has solidified and flowed to the top. Take a 4-cup measuring cup and put a dish towel over top of it. I have hooked down with clamps so that it doesn't fall in when I'm filtering the bourbon through it. Remove the hockey puck of solidified bacon grease. There's nothing you can do with that, so just throw it away. And then start filtering the bourbon through the dish towel. This is going to take a while, so I'm actually going to skip ahead. Still going. Okay, we skipped ahead. All right, once you're done pouring it through, there's going to be a little bit left in that dish towel, so slowly take the dish towel up and squeeze the remaining bourbon out of it. We want to get all of it with all that bacon goodness. Now bring your bottle back, your empty bottle that we originally poured the bourbon out of. Put a funnel in it. And now take your bacon infused bourbon and pour it back into the bottle. It should all fit. In fact, actually, you're going to actually notice that there's a little less bourbon. Some of that bourbon was still mixed in with some of that fat that we pulled out. So, but that's okay. We're going to lose a little bit, but that's all right. And there you go, bacon infused bourbon. Going to cap it off. And ta-da. Okay, so like I said, very easy to make. Now we're going to try it out. And I'm going to let you know that you're not going to get an overpowering bacon flavor with this. You're going to have subtle notes. I guess if you use a really smoky type of bacon, you might be able to get a stronger flavor. But you're really just kind of, enhancing the flavor a little bit, moving the bourbon up to another level. And again, I don't know if I mentioned before, this is not an expensive bottle of bourbon. This is a $20 bottle. I would not recommend doing this with a high-end, limited edition, reserve type of bourbon. You're really going to waste the bourbon doing that. What we're really doing is we're just trying to, enhanced flavor of, a regular run-of-the-mill bourbon. So Just a little slight smoky note to it. And yeah, again, it's not overpowering. You know it's there. A little slight flavor of the smoke. You know, it's like, what is that? If nobody, if it's good. If you didn't know what it was and somebody gave it to you, you'd be going, what's in there? I can't place that flavor. But that's bacon infused bourbon. Where it really shines, though, is in a old fashioned, and not just any old fashioned, a maple bacon bourbon old fashioned. And what I'm going to do with this is, instead of simple syrup or sugar cube, I'm going to use 100% natural maple syrup. And we're going to pour a little bit of that in there. I want to really bring out the maple flavor, so I'm going to add a bit of it. Just like a regular old fashioned, a couple of dashes of bitters. The old fashioned recipe usually calls for a couple of dashes of water. I'm going to skip that. That's usually if you're going to use a sugar cube to dilute the sugar a little bit. I'm going to do about a jigger's full of the bacon bourbon. Set that aside, get my swizzle stick. And one thing I notice is it's missing a garnish. Really want to mix up that maple syrup, by the way. But one thing I notice is it's missing a garnish. So if you remember that bacon we cooked the other day, it's right here. And you now have a bacon maple old fashioned garnished with a piece of bacon. And that, my friends, is amazing. Yeah, there's no way to describe that. Very mapley, got that subtle bacon flavor to it. And you have a meal also. So I'm going to sit here and enjoy this. I'm going to eat my bacon. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this one. And like I said, it's very easy to make. And I will see you next time. Take care.